Top One ladies, my name is Chaz and welcome to the What If. Um, Zuko has the 5 Infinity Stones. Like basically, aka 5 quirks or 5 powers. So, let's begin. And I'm also adding Zoomy so that the yeah. So Zuko has Space Stone, Power Stone, Reality Stone. That's 1, 2, 3. Or actually, he has Reality, Power, Space, Time, and Soul. I was gonna give him the all 6 of them, but he also, I actually had a train of thought. He was also born with, for his abilities, is mind. Yeah. So he basically has power, space, all 6 of the Infinity Stones. So, yeah. Basically, sorry. So, now we begin with them being born and in that age of 4, the quirk doctor, they are at a quirk doctor getting their quirk checked, and normally I say they look at Zumi and has the quirk or find manipulation, and the Zuko doesn't have a quirk, but Zuko, or actually the quirk doctor says he does not have a quirk. And his friends, or no, when they did alright, and so they were like go on and or they abandoned him. That was their mistake. So the next day, after they got banned, Zuko, like abandoning him, and yeah. But the quirk doctor ran into Asashi. Asashi was on patrol and saw the quirk doctor. Hey, or hi, how's your overpowered kid doing? Oh, Zumi? She's doing good. No, not Zumi. Zuko. Oh, well, we haven't seen him in a long time because we abandoned him. As the quirk doctor's face, he's like his eyes, as the quirk doctor looked like that. Like, you what? And then yeah, as the quirk doctor grabs the Hisashi shakes him. And the you fool, you're a fool. Zuko, as the quirk doctor tells him that your son is, or he's not quirkless. I didn't say he's quirkless. I said he doesn't have a quirk. That means one quirk. He has 5 quirks inside of his body. As when Asashi was like, wait, he has 5 quirks inside of his body? Yes, and each one has its own, it's like their own group of quirks. Holy crap. And let's say he was with Endeavor, and Endeavor heard, or actually, Endeavor heard that, and, or, and yeah, Zuko, or Uzashi ran all the way to the finding him. Or no, actually he called Inko and hold on. And Inko, when she heard that their son had not just one quirk, he had 5 quirks, like 5 groups of quirks. And she literally could not believe it. As, let's say Bakugo's mom was there, was like visiting with her. And what's wrong, Inko? As Bakugo is wondering what happened. As, yeah. Too. So when she told him, or told them that her son, Zuko, wasn't quirkless, as she is crying, he had 5 groups of quirks. Like basically inside of his body. We thought he meant he was quirkless. But then when the quirk doctor, yeah. And even like, yeah, like Bakugo's mom is like that. If they, as the news reported, like everybody was like he shows up. So it's been for, let's do a time skip to 15. So then Sashi did find Zuko sleeping in a right underneath the garbage can. And yeah, as he's wondering, as Zumi, for his sister, where is she? His sister was usually feels her brother's aura as she got closer to the garbage can. He, as she could feel the aura underneath it. There you are, little brother. Come on out. As the, as a, Asashi thought Asashi thought she lost her marbles, but then a big, like, shadow came off of, came from underneath as Zuko woke up. Yeah. As he still looked like he still has yeah. So then when they looked at him, and so Asashi and apologizes to Zuko. Oh, and yeah, the basically Zuko, who came out of the garbage can and ends up being he's all groggy. Not as he puts a finger up, tells him that 1 minute for him to fully wake up. As Asashi understands that so yeah, so Asashi says, "How do you feel about being back in the family?" As Zuko shrugs his shoulders, okay, and go to UA. Okay. So then Zuko shows up at UA a couple days, or actually the same day as the exam, and with Zumi, and they both got the highest score. Zuko conjured up the something special. As he turns all the robots, like 1-pointers, 2-pointers, 3-pointers, into, you know, I don't know, but into bunch of dynamite things that will self-destruct in about 10 seconds. So yeah, as they're just party poppers things. So they all what the heck? As Zuko or Bakugo is save some of them for the rest of us. I know one of your quirks is probably reality bend. Yep. I could change myself into anyone or surrounding areas into whatever. Okay? As everybody's wondering, okay, so Zuko could, because he has the ability inside of his body that allows him to read minds, things too. So yeah, basically, And if all 6 of them, like all 5 of them, fused with his ability, they become infinity ability. Infinite ability. Yeah. So yeah. So Zuko who ends up, or actually let's say the next day he, or actually the ball throw thing, as he says, okay, I might not do good for it, as he throws the ball. But when one of his quirks, or the space one, made the ball go into outer space, so infinity. Huh. That's 2 that I used. Huh. So then but at this time, like in this universe thing, Bakugo loves Zumi, but Ochako loves Bakugo deeply. And yeah, he basically, yeah, Zuko was not very happy. I mean, because his sister's getting like that middle person, like that middle lane where she is loved by one person but gets hated by the other. But Todoroki was also fell in love with Zumi. Too. Then Momo, who ends up like hates Zumi. Yeah. So then he shrugs his shoulders, and like, so Sir Night Eyes, or no, actually, Mr. Ozawa looks at him, says, "Huh. So you have 5 quirks that are like grouped quirks, right?" "Yes." "Let's see what yours can do." Hey, I know there's reality and space. One. What time is it? As Zuko asks him, as he turns back around, as Mr. Ozawa is frozen in there. Everybody's not moving. Like, what the heck? Heck. As he's like, I'm not giving him or actually, when his infinity ability, not the separate ones. So he snaps his fingers right in front of Mr. Ozawa's face to see what has happened. As he looks around, as he walks, as he looks around, like he's waving at Ochako's in front of her face, as he was like, man, what the heck just happened? And so then he comes back to the same spot. playtime. Or as he says, playtime. And then the thing went back to normal. That was weird. So they're like, what just happened? And Zuko tells them, or tells Mr. Zawa, that was weird. Felt like I was in like a mannequin store. Mannequin store. He tells Mr. Zawa that you guys were like frozen in place, and as 1 minute he turns around, he sees Mr. Zawa frozen. As he face palms himself. Oh, alright, unfreeze. As Mr. Zawa says, quit doing that to us. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah. As Frog Girl's like, yeah, that was weird. As Zuko says, well, it's really don't know. Well, what was that? Because you all were like in this like frozen state. This time he was like looking right at them, and he tells them that it was just too weird, and it's like Mr. Zawa puts on puts on Zuko the camera thing, that like strap, to see what he means. Okay. So then Zuko says, okay. And so Mr. Zawa pulls up a sign that says, pause time. Yeah. Then Zuko said that, and so the camera was still, or because he was holding on to something, it's still playing. As he's like looking around, he sees, he's like, as he taps on Mr. Zawa's shoulders, and like moving his arms around. Looks like the rest of you are in like this comatose state thing. So yeah, then so then he says playtime. Then the strapped video footage, Mr. Zawa and Nezu and like the Pro Heroes students watched it and saw like that, and be like, man, that is just weird, isn't it? Yeah. The sawing, yeah. So then All Might versus, so USJ goes differently. So Zuko was like going with his classmates, And the reason why I don't have the pictures on here instead of like, because I would rather look at which stones I'm talking about without having to do this all the time. So yeah, so Zuko ends up, this is what he ends up with. So his classmates were like, says to him, how does your quirk work? Or like quirks? Well, each one of my powers or quirks has unique things. So yeah, then the students get dropped off, and the at USJ 13 says, man, welcome to USJ, and like she does her intro, and like of course she walks up to Zuko and says, you must be the overpowered character that, or you must be the overpowered student that I heard so much about. Yeah. One with a, to be honest, I would rather had like quirks like yours, because that would be awesome. And she's like, yeah, but yours, yeah. So then they go in. Of course, Ochako and Momo didn't realize that Zuko had 5 quirks. Technically, he has 6 quirks, if including the Mind Stone thing as his ability. Yeah. So then, because Ochako and Momo are upset at Zumi, yeah. So then, yeah. So, hold on. At least I tried to do it. But Matsumi was like, she didn't notice that the Momo and Ochako didn't like her, because, yeah. But the Zumi walks over to her brother and asks him that, and quietly asks him that or what do you think that reason why Ochako and Momo, or those 2 girls, hates her? As Zuko says, I'll explain it later. But now just focus on this. So then the 13 explains, and then the villains comes up. And yeah. As a villain, and the leader of the villains says, We are here to kill All Might and the rest of you brats and rebuild it in our own image, and yeah. But then the Zuko whom ends up using his space power, like he told, or actually 13 tells Tenya to like run, but Zuko knows the fastest route as he uses space to teleport. Like opens a portal to teleport right to UA. So Tenya ran right through. He ends up um um as he tells Mr. Ozawa to let me deal with him. So then so Zuko or like grabs or like he used his time power, so he teleports through, and like he said, "Stop time," and then he goes around, made the villains beat each other's up, and yeah, like he made the gray guy, he buffed up guy, spin him around on like a top thing, and like made all the villains, and they all whacked into each other's, some get disintegrated. Yeah. So then, yeah. So Zuko ends up being so when he came back, he says, "Playtime." So then the villains are hitting each other's, knocking each other's out, and some get obliterated by the leader of the villains and all that stuff. Yeah. And the Nomu was ordered to attack, so the Nomu went right for her, raise her head, and the rest of them. But Zuko ends up saying, "Who wants candy?" As he looks right at them when he said that. As the Nomu turned into a candy. Like basically the ones that you unwind and unwrap thing. Yeah. So he like yeah. As they're like, man, with all those powers, you could bend reality. Yeah, so then, yeah, so the Shiraki said, he's like, "That's cheating," and all that stuff. Well, Zuko ends up being like, "Okay, you're just crazy." And his soul stone kicked in, and like he knew, like he could hear the voices of the undead, aka hearing like all those people that were from the past. The Shiraki-sen's his parents, his brother, or no, his sister, and rest of them. Like, he could hear the first user of One for All. And he doesn't even have One for All. He has 5 quirks. 6 if you count. No. Yeah. He hears, like, the first user of One for All. Oh. 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 And, yeah. Then, when the night, like, after that, they all go to bed. The Zuko went into when he was in his dream world, he met the first user of One for All himself. Yeah, you guys don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So yeah. So Zuko was talking to him, understanding that his friend or his sister has One for All. As she, or as he tells him all about All for One and how he's linked up to One for All. As he walks over, or Zuko walks over to him and tells him that I'll make sure to, be there. Okay? So, yeah. Because it's like Zuko is the first person with 5 most overpowered abilities. He's the first user of he tells him that all my hang, or you might, or Zuko, you'll get the One for All because you have more experience than the one person that has it. So yeah, or actually, let's say not, or let's say Zumi didn't, or no, actually, All Might didn't choose it, or choose who would he give it to, because he was waiting for a right moment as so as Zuko says, it's time for me to go. Okay? So as he says, yeah. Okay? And see you around. Yeah. Before I go home, you'll be the first person that I always look up to. Okay? So then Zuko goes, like, goes away. So then, yeah. Then All Might was like, okay, because Zuko could bring out the full power. Yeah. So he finally chooses the and something tells him that yeah. So he yeah. So All Might or actually let's say Asashi was hearing or actually let's say the next day Asashi heard or asked Zuko who was he talking to in his sleep. Well, one of the I don't remember his name, but the so then he goes to school as All Might or is or actually let's say Mr. Zawa says, so how's your soul based abilities coming? Pretty good. But I need to talk to All Might for where is he? Huh. Well, the All Might hang shows up. Or actually, let's say Bakugo asks him that. Well, pretty good. And I had a weirdest dream, and I'll ask All Might if. Okay. So then All Might, in his like buffed up form, asks him, or actually takes, or no, actually All Might the asks, or actually Zuko asks him. So who was the like? I know that you have one for all. But who was that person that was like made it? As All Might is like, well, let's see. As he goes or like gets into a room like with Zuko and like makes him be or make sure no one was listening. And or yeah. So how do you know about one for all? My soul quirk that I activated during the USJ game, and I I saw like many people talking at the same time. But then last night when I went to bed, I saw this guy. He said that he was a first user of One for All. You know about the first user. Or actually, let's say Zuko says his name. The not All Might, but that guy's name. Name? Him? Do you know him? Huh. He's the first user of One for All of my quirk. Why do you ask? Did you talk to him? Yeah, recently. He basically, I was, yeah, he said that I was more worthy because I wield, like, the infinity powers more, or, yeah, that's what he said to me. I see. If he trusts you, I trust you with it. So then he gives his quirk of One for All to Zuko, because actually All Might chose him too. So then he he could also combine his powers too. So yeah, the is with like so now Zuko with like 6 powers or like quirks and 1 ability. Well, Zuko ends up becoming the most powerfulest person in the world. But it, he charges up like One for all using his power stone or his power of like power, yeah, and One for all to their full power. Yeah, he also could combine certain powers to create more combines. Like him or he used Soul Stone or and his reality thing. So the next night that he like or a couple of nights he meets or no, actually he meets the he meets all of them. Or actually every for 2 nights he meets where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? So he met a first user, second user, third user, fourth user, fifth user, sixth user, seventh user, and he did meet All Might. And so the last person that he met was the hold on. So he meets her, and he trains how to under her to like yeah. So then the day comes of Zuko. So then after 2 years, or no, 2 months, or no, 2 weeks have passed. Then the sports festival, Nezu tells Zuko that he'll not participate in it, but he'll be the commentary one. So yeah, he's like, okay. So then yeah. He was up in the stadiums, as everybody's like, why is that kid, seems like that kid's useless. Did you heard of what happened? What? Well, that same kid has 5 quirks inside of his body. And Zuko says, or as the Mr. or Music Mike says, ladies and gentlemen, then the welcome to the sports festival, and that with your the co-host Music Mike, or he introduces himself, and we have a very special guest, Zuko Midoriya, or his hero name is Infinity Lord. Earn. Everybody's like, whoa, Infinity Lord? As everybody's like, man, with, because that makes sense, because Zuko, or they said Zuko is the, yeah, so the Almighty, like, yeah. So then Zuko did not let, and as he's like, okay, so he watches his sister she gets first place in the race. It's like similar to Canon, but she doesn't have the one for all. And she gets bombarded in the cavalry battle, aka he outsmarted them. And in the fight one, it was actually Ochako and Momo, battled against like the, yeah. So then now it was three-way battle between Ochako, Momo, and Zuko or Zumi, and yeah, so they were roughhousing. And Zuko or Zumi was knocked out. Or actually, both Momo and Ochako got married to. Or actually, not get married. They knocked each other's out. Momo and Ochako. And it was a tie between Momo and so Zumi wins. And yeah. And Zumi tells Momo and Ochako, like out of off the in the like recovering thing, they're always allowed to date her brother, other, as they were like, we never thought about that. We only wanted was. So then, from that point on, Ochako and Momo end up dating Zuko. Yeah. Who else gets 5 quirks, or actually 5 powers, or no, 6 powers, and then, yeah. So then, reason why he has the mind power as the, he could link up with his quirks, like fuse all 6 of them. So he actually puts One For All into like hidden inside of his heart, so that when, yeah. So then the All-Might or All For One tries to steal it. they will. Yeah, so All for One steals. So then, time skip to All Might versus All for One. All Might is down, but he's not out. As All for One tells him that, you know who I'm more afraid of? Or actually, or I'm not afraid of Zuko. So, yeah. So then then Zuko pops out of nowhere. He does his thing. Like he like absorbs the attack, throws it back. He turns it into chocolate milk. Yeah. So then with all that stuff. Yeah. So then All for One says, the one with 5 quirks. Give me all 5 of them. And yeah, all 5 of them. So then All Might says, no! As All for One's like, yes! I could feel the power coursing through my veins. And Zuko's like, huh. As he smiles. Huh. There's one thing about having more power. The human body can even handle it. But there's one thing. I also have the ability of mind. So then he uses it. His eyes turned yellow. Like his... And he used it. And All for One's like, what's going on? No! As the quirks get ripped out of his body. Zuko's quirks ripped right out of All for One's body. All at once. And went right back into, and they got purged out from All for One's, like, control. So, Zuko, then when all the power, like all of the things went back into his body, they all fused into his ability as his eyes start to glow rainbow colors. As All for One gets up, he was in his prime. Like, AKA, where is it? Yeah, yeah. So, please wait for part 2 to be filmed.